That's that. I guess it's been over a month. All right. Also, I had lots of pizza, and I feel quite sleepy.
Yeah.
When you've had a meal that's so big, and it's just like
the carb coma.
That's the one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna fall asleep any moment.
Carb and cheese.
Yeah. I had a pizza that was like a Christmas dinner pizza. It had turkey and stuffing and even had gravy on it. It was kind of cool. But my god, there was too much of it. They should make a smaller version. Or they should do a deal where you get the smaller version for the equivalent and not end up being like the same price as the large one. So of course you've got to get the large one.
Where'd you get it from?
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we shall go into what we've been playing now. I don't know who wants to go first.
I guess I can.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I can't exactly list everything since the last podcast, but
no, we'll probably just go for the last week.
Yeah, just the highlights. Played a bit of Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Hey.
I'm sure Moriko's going to talk about it a bit more than what I'm
going to. Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, so I'll keep that one short and sweet. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've got to the point where, well, I'm trying to not say anything else that I know Moriko is going to say later, but yeah, not that I'm flexing or anything, but because I got it on Xbox Series S, it's noticeably like a lot quicker than loading this and the other. So that's a nice thing. What else?
So you've been playing it dubbed, haven't you? Whereas Murry Curry's been playing it subtitled.
Yeah, just basically for streaming reasons. I've done it in English so that people just don't tune in and think, "Oh, this is all Japanese. I'm not watching this."
I was worried about that.
Yeah, not that I'm taking anything away from Murry Curry's stream, but yeah, it's just a bit weird.
It's alright, it's all been mahjong anyway.
It is a bit weird hearing the whole Yakuza in English. I know Judgment heard like Japanese and then English as well. But
as well as the original PS2 game with its
that is
dub.
Yeah, thankfully
it was a different time.
Yeah, it was.
When voice acting not good.
Especially when every other word was a swear word. So
yeah, they were like, "Oh, I heard these Westerners really like swear words."
I like having random swear words on a T-shirt.
Yeah. Trying to think about. Oh yes, I have got my Raspberry Pi 4400.
Ah, nice.
And I've been testing some games on that.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, it's not the most powerful games. Well, it's not a games console at all. But it's just the fact that I put a SD card in it, and it practically is a games console. But yeah, it seems to run well for the games I have played on it. It's taking me back to my youth with like some Commodore 64 games and ZX Spectrum games.
That's mainly if I'm going to get one, which I'm very much looking into at the moment. I love the fact that they've intentionally designed it to look like an old microcomputer. It's just like a little keyboard and you plug things into it and it just works like that. They even said that their inspiration was the Amiga 600, like the smaller version of the Amiga 500. And that sold me immediately. It's just like, just a plug and play Raspberry Pi that you don't, you do a little bit of tinkering, but the fact that it's already got a keyboard and mouse with it and that kind of stuff, I just fell in love immediately.
Yeah. Well, one of the beauty things of it, you can just change your operating system just by plugging in an SD card. So if you want to play games, you can just plug in a RetroPie SD card. If you want to use it as like an office tool, you can plug in a Ubuntu SD card, and it's just convenient like that.
Yeah, so you could have different SD cards for different systems, I guess.
Yeah.
If you really wanted, you could just set up like an Amiga disc, Amiga SD card or whatever, and just set it up how you like.
Yeah, there are such things as that already out there, so people are using it as that.
I did see there's this one you can get, but apparently you need to have another Raspberry Pi to update it and then put it on the 400. But maybe there'll be a workaround for it at some point. But there is a file you can get that's basically about 30 gigabytes, and it's everything that was ever made for the Amiga and the OS. So when you just put you put that on the SD card, stick it in the Pi 400 once you've tinkered on another Pi, and when you boot it up, it's just the Amiga OS with everything on it. And it's just like, that'll do me. That's perfect.
Considering
that's what I've always wanted.
Considering you can get like a 32 gigabyte micro SD card for like not even £10 these days,
exactly.
It's like really cheap and you can have a lot of fun with it. I know you would have a lot of fun with it there, AnimatedAF, but
yeah, and the price of it is quite reasonable, honestly. Like I was really surprised how cheap they made it, so I'm definitely considering one soon. I'm just hoping they can get that stuff sorted out so I don't have to like use someone else's Pi to get the program so I can put it in that one. But yeah, once they get around that workaround, because obviously it's only been out a few weeks now, so once it's been out a bit longer, people can probably find ways to make stuff to just work straight away on the 400.
Believe me, they work incredibly fast. People who make Raspberry Pi stuff, like you just go on their forums and say, "Oh, I'm having a problem with this," and then like a couple of hours later, they'll come back to you and say, "Oh, here you go."
Oh, hang on, sorry. It seems to have stopped. Oh, are we back? Oh, okay. We were buffering for a bit there. Sorry.
Are we all right though?
Yeah, it just went into red for about 5 seconds. Not sure why.
Yeah, I'm looking at the playback now. Everything's fine.
Okay.
What else have I played? Oh, I say attempt. Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
My PC can just about run it, or to the point. Well, my PC could run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I watched your stream of it, and it looked like it was kind of chugging in some areas where there's like a lot of detail, and like when you're out in the big city. But when you were doing like the training areas, it ran pretty smoothly, I thought. Yeah.
It took me a while to like work out what was actually happening, but I've hit a slight snag. I decided to upgrade my PC a bit by sticking in a new processor and SSD just to make the games run a bit smoother. And as of when I plugged it all back in and tried to turn it on, I think must have been not even an hour ago, it just didn't work. So hopefully I can get my PC fixed soon and get back into Cyberpunk 2077. So there's
good luck with that, man.
Yeah, I'm devastated because I'm also using the same PC to stream stuff, and if I can't use that, then basically I'm out of action.
Oh god!
Unless I was to stream directly from like my PS4 or Series S.
Oh yeah, I guess you could do that for the time being.
I mean, I can check backwards and forwards on that, but I do prefer having like a cam on me so that people actually know that I'm actually there to play something.
I know what you mean.
Fingers crossed. I'll get it sorted for the next couple of days.
Best of luck with that.
So that's all I've been playing recently in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, fair enough. I guess I'll go next if that's cool. So I've had a couple new games pop in the post that I pre-ordered for the Switch, both pretty much one day after the other. One of them was Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, and the other one was a compilation called Space Invaders Forever. And I played a little bit of Puyo Puyo Tetris. Basically, I've been doing some freelance animation work, and I was basically working on that all day and night for a solid couple of weeks, pretty much. And I was like, because Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 arrived, but I didn't have time to play it. And I was like, as soon as this job's done, I'm going to play so much Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. And then Space Invaders Forever showed up the next day, and I haven't been able to stop playing that. So Puyo Tetris I've probably put less than an hour into so far, whereas I've probably already put at least 10 hours into the Space Invaders collection. So basically, this collection, it has 3 games on it. So it's a bit confusing because they've put out 2 releases. One of them's like a standard retail release you can get everywhere, and it's like £25 retail, but I think I got it on pre-order for 20. The one I've got called Space Invaders Forever. And then there's the Invincible collection, which has a few extra games on it, but it's like £60, and you can only get it on a certain website, and it's like this limited thing, I think. But yeah, but this one, it's got Space Invaders Extreme on it, which I originally played on the Nintendo DS. Absolutely loved that game in the past, and I've fallen right back in love with it again here. And it's got online rankings as well, so that adds to it for me.
It does look amazing.
Yeah, that game is really good fun. It's like sound design wise, it reminds me of Rez, because it always feels like all the sounds are like going with the music. But gameplay wise, it's kind of like the Pac-Man Championship Edition of Space Invaders. Like, that's probably the best way to describe it.
That's the vibe I got.
There is a sequel to this game as well, which was on the DS and PSP. It's a shame they couldn't fit that on the collection as well. But one of the other games on the collection is this one called Space Invaders Gigamax 4 SE, which I think was made for like the 40th anniversary. I think this was an arcade game, but I haven't actually looked it up, so I'm not 100% sure. It might be exclusive to this collection. Don't really know. But it's basically a 4-player co-op ultra widescreen version of Space Invaders. So it's the original Space Invaders as it starts up, except you've got like 200 invaders in a row coming at you. And yeah, you can have up to 4 players all sapping at these things at the same time. But then once you've sort of beaten that first level, you don't actually have to shoot all the invaders like you do in the original game. It's just once they get near the bottom, it moves on to the next level. Then it starts getting a bit weird. You start getting like all these Space Invaders running around Galaga style, and when you shoot them, they get bigger and bigger until they pop. And then there's like these big UFO bosses that do all this crazy stuff as well. And it's got like this crazy Suntartar soundtrack as well, with vocals and everything. You know, you're doing the boss, and there's like this lady go whoa over it, and it's just really bizarre. The only thing with that game is it's quite short. It's only technically 9 levels. So there's like 2 levels and then a boss, and then another 2 levels and a boss. And once you've beaten that 3rd boss, that's the whole game. But again, it's got online leaderboards, and at the moment I'm trying to chase 1cc on both of these games if I can. At the moment on Extreme, I think I've got through most of the game. I've gotten through at least half of the game on 1 credit, but I'm still trying to work my way towards 1cc, 1 credit. In the case of Gigamax, that last boss I cannot beat, because basically the bosses, you can die as much as you want for the bosses, and any of the levels actually, but there's a time limit on the bosses, and if you run out of time, you just instantly game over. And yeah, obviously if you continue, you lose your score, so you have to try and get through the bosses in time. But that last boss is an absolute pig. Like, he just wastes so much time. He keeps dodging away from you, does all this specific stuff you have to do, and your spaceship is exactly as it was in Space Invaders. It's incredibly slow moving around, like just crawling and this UFO is just like sapping back and forth and doing all this crazy stuff, and you're just like, I could barely move. And like, yeah, so I've managed to almost 1cc it, but I just can't like beat that final boss in time. It always takes me too long, because they only give you a few minutes to do it. The 3rd game on that collection, and this is a bit weird, this one. So the 3rd game is Arkanoid versus Space Invaders. So this was a free-to-play smartphone game originally, and they've ported it over to the Switch, taking all the microtransactions and all the the mobile wasting your time, trying to make you spend money stuff has been taken out, which is nice. It was pretty much the main reason I wanted this collection, other than Extreme. It was like, yes, I can finally play this without all the garbage that you get with mobile games. They're like, you got to wait 24 hours before you can use this item. It's like, go away. But yeah, the thing with this game, right, so this collection is coming out on the Switch and the PS4. I put this game into my TV. It was automatically in Tate mode, so it was just on its side. It said on the screen, you can play this game in portable mode with your finger, like touch controls. You can, not you must, but that's what it said. It said you can. So the title screen loads up and it says tap to start. And you press any button, nothing happens. You're like, wait,
oh no.
Wait. So I looked at the back of the box, and sure enough, in teeny weeny little text in the corner, it said Space Invaders versus Arkanoid is only playable in portable mode. And you don't use the Joy-Cons at all, it's just touch controls. So, and I was looking at it, I was like, how does this work on the PS4 then? and I had to think about it, and I can only assume, because no one's really talked about the PS4 version online yet, but I'm just going to assume that the PS4 version uses the touchpad. That's all I can think of. Like, that's probably how it controls. But on the PS4 version, you can play it on the telly. I really wanted to cap this game. I really wanted to show it off because it is a fantastic game, especially since they took out all the free-to-play stuff. It does have that mobile difficulty creep that you just feel like, you know, you get through the first world easy enough, and then you start getting into the second world of the map that's like every other map in every mobile game ever. And yeah, you get that just like difficulty creep sets in where it's like, oh, you have to use this item, otherwise you're just not gonna, or you know, you just have to keep plowing through some of it. But other than that, absolutely love this game. It's probably my favorite on the collection. It's basically Taito fan service, the video game, because you eventually unlock all these different Taito characters that have different abilities that you can add to your Arkanoid ship. And I've got like the Bubble Bobble dinosaur, I've got the Rainbow Islands kids. I was shocked to see friggin' the girl with the umbrella from Speaker Adventure, which is an arcade game, a very obscure arcade game by Taito that they actually had at Astro City at one point. I don't know if they still have it, but I do remember playing it there.
No, it's long gone.
That's
it was
a
replaced
shame.
with
That's
Street
quite
Fighter
rare.
4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was quite a rare game. I don't know how they got their hands on that, but yeah.
We have our ways.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in it. There's like, I haven't unlocked her yet, but Time Gal's in it, and the Ninja Warriors are in it, and there's all like
nice.
Some of the robotic fish from Darius, and the elevator action bloke, and just any character you can think of. The Kiwi from New Zealand Story's in it, but he's locked behind an achievement, which I have yet to get 1 out of the 35 or whatever it is, like gold medals or whatever. So I haven't got him yet, but yeah, there's the boy from Pooley Rulers in it, and it's just like all this fan service, and like they're all fully voice acted and have their own special abilities, and yeah, I really dig it. I just wish I could play it on a TV and cap it. Unless I got one of those like hacked switches where you can capture the handheld mode, or got a PS4 and played the PS4 version. If you want to play this in TV and handheld mode, you have to get both versions of the game, basically. Unless they patch it, which I'm kind of hoping they do. If they can patch in a, hey, you can play this with a controller option, yeah, analog stick or something, just anything, even if the controls are not as good, I would definitely stream that one. But yeah,
it would be great if they bought a pedal controller for it.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, the way it works is, you know, Arkanoid, it's mainly just going left and right. In this game, you can actually move up and down as well, so it's like you're moving around with your finger. So I'm not really sure how they could make this, other than just like having some kind of like analog stick controls. I'm not really sure how they could make that more accurate, I guess. I can see why they did it, but also they probably should have communicated it a bit better, especially when the game boots up with "you can," not "you must." It's a bit of a weird choice of words. So yeah, other than that, those and Taiko no Tatsujin on the Switch, that's mainly what I've been playing.
Ooh.
You want to go next, CherryT?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I've been playing some different things.
And not just Dr. Mario World, which you're playing right now.
No.
That's what happened.
Oh no. I've been playing the Switch port version of Fire Emblem on the original on the NES.
Oh yes.
Still gotta grab that.
I believe
Yeah.
I think it's called Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. That this version of it's called now, and yeah, basically it's been the first time that game's been translated officially by Nintendo, because before that it was like fan translated. So it was never released outside of Japan until like the other week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like literally a week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shelp Game has been playing this as well. But I'll see what I can think of it. So far, I quite like it. It's actually not the first time I played a Fire Emblem game. I played the GBA one once before.
Oh, you've got it on your 3DS, haven't you? Because you've got all the Ambassador games, haven't you?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she has got all the Ambassador games on hers, so...
Nice.
The GBA Fire Emblem was one of them.
Oh, that's cool. I grabbed mine on the Wii U. Like the, what do you call them?
Virtual console?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And about that, now this version of this Fire Emblem is rather dim because it's running on like the Wii U emulator they use for the Virtual Console.
Oh, it's got all the dark colours.
Yeah, it's really strange.
It puts a bit of a damper on it.
Yeah, basically what people have figured out is that this release was actually based on Wii U code. Like, it's actually a port of a Wii U version.
Oh, really?
So maybe they were planning to release this on the Wii U and then they just held it back for the anniversary or something. Because they actually found in the code that it says it's a Wii U game, essentially, that's been ported.
Okay.
Because there's been a lot of those, so I suppose there would be a common code for, hey, this is from the Wii U.
Or like some, I don't know what they call it, but some kind of like code.
Yeah.
I see it on cutting room floor a lot.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, there's that. But there are some quality of life bells and whistles that they put to the game, such as the usual save stating. So they call it bookmarking in this, but like bookmarking like particular save states and that. But there's also a turn rewind. So rather than just like restart the game and like starting from like the beginning of a level, if like when your character dies, you can rewind a turn.
Oh, right.
So say you do what you got to do in one turn, the CPU when a B turn runs, but if something goes wrong with your next turn, and then it will revert to the previous turn, so you've got to do what you got to do all over again.
You can technically revive people.
Yeah,
they get murdered forever, and you're like, nope. Go back.
I like that character.
Yeah, I like that character. Give me him back.
Not Jaeger.
This one doesn't have blue hair.
No, not Jaeger though. He sucks.
Just let him die.
But I don't. You know, yeah, the turn rewind's quite useful in it.
Yeah, I bet.
But bookmarking is ultimately more useful. And then the other quality of life thing they've added as well is it's the usual like fast forward, but you can set it so you either put the whole game on the fast forward, which sadly it does speed up music, which ain't very pleasant on the ears, but
yeah, I found that quite jarring.
But you can set it to either the whole game, or just the player, or just the CPU.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. So when the enemy turns happening, you can just speed that up so you don't have to watch them do their stuff. Yeah,
I wish Shining Force had a thing like that.
What, in real life?
No,
just being able to speed up. Just double time for a bit.
Yeah.
Just Benny Hill mode.
Yeah, or speed dreams as my brain thinks they are.
Yeah.
Or like Teletubbies filming. Whichever way you call it. Yeah. So far, as far as I know, it's actually not possible to recruit all 52 characters in one playthrough. So, in order to
52.
That's a lot for a NES game.
Yeah.
Well, half of them are recruitable, and then the others you get from like either starting a no, the ones you get automatically are the ones you get from the start of missions. Okay. But there are enemies that you can talk to, ultimately sparing their lives and having them join your forces.
Oh yeah, because that was in the GBA as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Cool.
But in order to get the full sort of character experience, you kind of have to do 2 runs.
Okay.
So there's only save space for 2 games. So yeah, and then there's only one save state you can make.
Oh really? You can't make multiple save states.
You have to overwrite.
Yeah, that's weird because even the NES online games have 4 save states. That's that kind of tells you that it's like an old emulator.
Yeah.
Kind of gives it away a bit. If the dim colours didn't already, the second you booted it up, I was like, "Hang on a minute."
Yeah.
I noticed like immediately. I was like, it's dark again.
Yeah, but I quite like it.
You put quite a few hours into it already.
Yeah, I have.
You have been playing. It's quite a beefy game. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's about 25 missions in it.
Oh okay. No. Each one's quite lengthy, aren't they?
Yeah, many of them are. So, not to mention one little thing that really amused me is like one of the curates looks a bit like a Darby O'Brien.
O'Brien. I think you would like that. Oh, I'm in a game, I am.
Oh, I'm in a game, I am.
I'm in a game. He says a lot.
He does.
It really winds me up.
I've actually met him once, and he is a lot bigger than us, so I'll be careful your words there, Murry Curry.
What, you can come get me?
He'll come and get you. He knows where you live.
Shiny head of his.
I heard that you've been talking about me. I can escape during the Rs.
As soon as he's finished, you'll be gone.
Alright, I mean, we just compared like a curate, like priest character to her, alright? from a 30-year-old NES game.
Don't get Larry, Dora.
What are you doing?
Anyway, yeah, that's mainly the different thing that I've been playing lately. Aside from the usual Pokemon and Dr. Mario and Fantasy Star.
Oh yeah, you're still working on that Hordes of Nay ROM hack, aren't you?
Yeah.
Cool. Which basically makes the game even harder.
Yeah. Oh.
Because you're glutton for punishment.
The thing is, we were so busy the other week that I completely forgot to back up my 5th run of that. So there's going to be a bit of a gap between
you mean
the
your
last
Twitch
one and whatever new one I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's always remembering to either download or highlight your streams on Twitch, otherwise they disappear.
I forgot to do either of those, so because I'm an idiot.
How well.
Yeah, that's mainly what I've been playing.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
Okay, so that's just me. Yep. 30 games in 30 days.
Yeah, there was that.
I was so happy I did that.
You really deserve
also so tired.
Thank you very much. Oh my god, I'm still physically hungover. I'm still hungover, in a kind of sleep state.
Yeah.
I'm falling asleep all the time. Like, seriously, guys, like, just be careful if you set yourself something like that.
Especially if you're starting from 9 PM and the game takes like 5-6 hours to beat.
And especially if you're a complete idiot and decide to do 2 Shenmue games back to back that took 11 hours each. And that was a quick run.
Yeah, you were beelining through those games and they still took that long.
Yeah.
That's actually probably the quickest I've seen them played, but it still took that long.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Especially Shenmue 2's sort of end game in Kowloon is, let's face it, it's a slog.
Yeah, it really is.
So apart from that, I've been waiting since about halfway through, last month to really get stuck into Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like, pre-ordered it, it turned up, I was really excited to tear into it. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I've set myself a silly challenge. We still managed to squeeze in a couple of streams of that, so that was nice. But yeah, since then, these last couple of weeks, I've been really going for it, and I think I've hit about 93 hours now.
Wow!
Like, really going for it.
Not more dedicated than me.
I'd say at least half of those hours were probably Mahjong, right?
Yep. That's the thing. I'm probably still not as far as Hunk Thunder is. I'm on chapter 10 now of the story, but I've been doing everything but the story. Like, literally, I've gotten to the point where the game has cut me off of certain things. Like the go-kart, the Dragon Kart minigame. I'm not allowed to do the last cup because I've just done too much of it. The game said no.
No, you're going to spoil something in the plot that hasn't happened for you yet.
Yeah,
so,
basically.
No.
So what's happened is, just before you get to the last cup, you have to, race these rivals in a ridiculous side story. And the rivals literally just sent, a sort of underling to give me a message to basically say, no, not yet.
Go do more plot.
Yeah, that's
no
exactly
car,
what
only plot.
Not now, Ben.
And I also, as soon as I got the sort of business management thing, which I was really looking forward to, as soon as I got that unlocked, I just went straight in. I did the whole thing.
That was quite fun to watch.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, too much.
It's amazing just how much depth they put into these little mini games that are completely optional, but they do it every time. It's like there's a whole game within this game, multiple times.
No joke, yeah, without a doubt. Because when I first heard that the management thing from Yakuza 0 was back, the first thing I said was, I hope they make it really complicated this time. And that's exactly what I got. It is so complicated. Even now, I've kind of got the hang of it, so to speak, but there's still so much to it. So yeah, I've spent so much time on that. I've done all the side stories I can. I've even done the the part-time hero stuff where you have to go and do basically it's like the usual Yakuza game fare of having the completion list that just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, at first you thought there wasn't one, didn't you? And you were like, oh, thank God, and then you found it.
I actually said on the stream, do you know what I like about this game? It's a lot more laid back. I don't have the 100% completion list to worry about. As soon as I said that and we went off stream and I carried on playing a bit more, literally the next thing I did after that was unlock the 100% completion list. You should have seen my face drop.
It is, you are 32.99872% through the game.
Oh, it was less than that. And so I'm still working away on that at the moment. But like I say, got to chapter 10, but doing so much of the other stuff. I think I've really started to properly dent the game now. 90 hours in, I should bloody think so. But yeah, I'm really surprised with this game's length and the usual Yakuza depth. This game might have some it might have some of the most amount of sheer content that I've seen in the series so far. There's so much going on. Every time you unlock the next little thing, it just opens up massively. So, like I say, the part-time hero thing, that's enormous. It's not just a 100% completion list. It's also it's a lot more than that. There's extra side missions and stuff involved in that, and it just honestly is so damn big. The storyline is absolutely fantastic. really good so far. Can't really say anything specific, but yeah, it's very, very good. And I'm just enjoying the hell out of it, and I'm going to be probably playing this for the rest of the year, if the way it's going.
Oh, easy. Easy.
Like I say, I'm 92 hours in. I'm only about level 33 or 34 at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be playing this for the rest of the year without a doubt.
You certainly get your money's worth with these games.
Absolutely, yeah. Even though I put an extra £8 worth of DLC into that business minigame.
Oh yeah, the pay to win DLC.
It pretty much was, yeah. Like you could do without it, but I don't think you'll be getting quite as good profit, because some of those characters are just vital.
Yeah.
Literally, there's 2 businesses that I can't run without having Marjima because he has the best service stat in the game.
No surprise there.
Yeah, when you follow his his career in Yakuza 0, it makes perfect sense. He is Mr. Service.
Customer is king.
That's right. I've been seeing a few people playing 0 again on Twitch, and it's made me really hungry to play that game again. Because my next playthrough, when I do get around to it, is going to be without that sort of stress of chasing achievements. So it's just going to be pure enjoyment this time. So I can't wait for that. So yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. Just lots and lots and lots of Like a Dragon. And that's what I'm probably going to be saying next week as well.
Yeah, that's fine by me. Make sure you stream us more of it because it's always fun to watch as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got to get back on streaming. Like I say, because of this the sort of hangover from the challenge, I've only been able to do a few so far.
Yeah.
But I do want to get back fully into the swing of that, but I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
But that's been me.
Quick update about what I was playing. Where I said Space Invaders Gigamax, I wasn't sure what its origin was, whether it was an arcade game or not. Hunk Thunder actually linked on the Discord that it was apparently a one-time event for the 40th anniversary where they projected this game onto a building.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So they have ported this one-off event game onto the Switch and the PS4 for this collection. So that's actually really special. I was completely unaware of this. So yeah, they beamed it on the side of a hotel apparently, and people were paying 500 yen to play it on the side of this building.
Nice.
It was throughout a month apparently. It was just like 1 July, I think, a year or so ago. I don't know when it was, but yeah.
Sweet.
That's really cool. So yeah, I guess that's what we've been playing, and I guess we'll move on to the gaming news. Bing bong, bing bong. Whoa, what was that?
So it's me punching the microphone. I was trying to scratch my face.
I thought you were punching your face because of the news I'm about to talk about.
That as well.
This sucks. This really sucks. So, Codemasters were in talks literally just last week with Take-Two, the Grand Theft Auto publisher, about an acquisition. Basically, they were literally shaking hands on this deal, and it was going to be $992 million for Take-Two to purchase Codemasters. And then this week, just pretty much out of the blue, EA swooped in and outbid them. And they are basically offering $1.2 billion for Codemasters. That was supposed to be the
Mini-Me or oh no, not Mini-Me.
Dr. Evil thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't see my finger. You can't see my finger, so it doesn't work quite so well. But yeah, basically EA
I had a feeling.
EA has swooped in, outbids Take-Two by quite a considerable amount, and now it looks like it's very likely that they're going to go ahead with that, and Codemasters are going to get eaten by EA.
I probably wouldn't mind Take-Two.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah.
Just some cartoon biting sound effect, like.
Yeah,
like I say, I wouldn't have minded Take Two, but
yeah, exactly.
EA could do one.
Yeah, they don't exactly have a good reputation for purchasing British developers and keeping them alive for long.
Exactly. That's what I'm really upset about. That
exactly.
Codemasters pretty much made my childhood, and literally someone's just come along, paid a load of money for it, and going to chuck it in the bin.
They are a massive part of my childhood as well, because I was huge into the Micro Machines games growing up, and I also love their racing games, their Tokka and
their what?
Tokka. Yes. Tokka championship touring cars, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I own at least 2 of them, I think. And, no, actually, I've got one on
It's funny you mention their racing games, because that is basically the main reason EA are considering purchasing Codemasters, because they own the Formula 1 license. They make annual Formula 1 games. It's pretty obvious why EA wants them. They want to put the Formula 1 games within the EA Sports banner. And they're probably going to put all that like Ultimates team stuff into the next one or something like that. But they also, Codemasters are pretty much a racing game developer these days. Let's be honest. That is pretty much their bread and butter nowadays. The Dirt series, the Grid series, all those franchises, and so it makes perfect sense why EA would want them. They want that Formula 1 license. They want that annual, because they already make annual Formula 1 games, but they want that to be part of. That's the one thing that EA kind of hasn't been doing a lot of lately, is racing games. Even though they have plenty of studios that have made racing games, they haven't made many lately. The Need for Speed games are not the same as they once were. Criterion, I don't even know what they're doing nowadays. Like, what happened to Burnout? It's just disappeared. Like, are they doing anything with that? I don't know. I think one of the rumblings is another reason they would want Codemasters is, they're known as one of the best racing game developers out there. They might be able to reinvigorate both Burnout or Need for Speed themselves, which, it might be a good thing. Like, it might make those franchises better. It might make them worse. It's just really hard to say, but having Codemasters talent on something like Burnout or Need for Speed would probably benefit those series. But at the same time, this is EA. They're kind of notorious for purchasing developers and then just kind of throwing them aside when they don't make enough profit. It really sucks. So I'm really hoping that's not going to be too quick for like Codemasters to just like get tossed aside like all the others. Maxis and Bullfrog and so many. I can't even. I'd have to look up a list. Just roll out this massive list of companies that they've purchased and then just murdered. But so at the moment it's a case of eventual rip, I suppose. Like
eventual
rip, because they're probably going to try and push them to make. As I say, they've already been doing annual Formula 1 games. It's not like they're going to be pushed any harder when it comes to the Formula 1 games, because they've been doing that annually for decades now. They've been doing that since the PS1 days. So it's it's not unlike them to do annual games. It's not like they're being pushed to do annual wrestling games when you used to not make annual wrestling games, and now they end up being rushed piles of garbage. But I guess we'll have to see how this goes.
I wonder if we'll see a Micro Machines out of it though.
Microtransaction machines.
I was just make that same joke.
Why did I not think of that? Why did I not think of that?
I mean, wasn't the last Micro Machines game kind of that anyway?
Yeah,
I never played it, but I heard it was like an online only thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. I can't.
Yeah, no thanks.
Look into it in detail, but I don't know. Hopefully, it benefits them in some way. Hopefully, it means they've got more money to put towards like the Dirt series, and they continue to make good Dirt rally games and all that good stuff. Like they've always been good at rally games in particular. I think that's one of my favourite things they've always done is their rally games, the Colin McRae games, which became the Dirt games. I hope they can continue to keep up that quality that they've always had in their games. You know, they've not always been perfect. Sometimes you can tell they've rushed out a sequel, but at the same time, they've always been pretty damn good. So yeah, that's currently in the works at the moment. I think EA are planning to officially, close this deal by sometime early next year, maybe February and March, something like that, in time for the financial year, I suppose. At the end of the financial year, they can say, "Hey, look, we bought another company. We'll keep this one promise."
Right.
Yeah, that's that. There's not really much else we can really say about that, other than it's for the racing games. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's definitely no chance of Dizzy coming back. So,
I mean, as far as I can tell, do Codemasters still own the rights to Dizzy, or do the Oliver twins own it themselves? Because
I'm actually assuming that the Oliver twins own it themselves, because as of Friday, Wonderful Dizzy is going to be released for ZX Spectrum and ZX Spectrum Next.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, there's that Dizzy collection that came out for the Evercade recently. That's got a good chunk of the games on it as well. So at least Dizzy's safe, I suppose. I can't imagine EA would want to do anything with Dizzy anyway, but I can't imagine they would think that's profitable enough for them. But I've been playing a lot of Codemasters games on that Amstrad CPC as well. Pretty much all the best games that came with that system that I got with that computer are Codemasters games. Like the ones with simulator at the end of the name, which are ironically not in any way simulators. They're actually just cool little arcade games.
It was a different time.
Oh yeah, for sure. One of the ones that was quite funny was there was this collection of 4 football games that they put out, and one of them was this one where it's like a football game, but you're not actually playing football. You're just training up the characters, so it's just a load of mini games of training them up, doing push-ups and stuff. That was pretty cute. That was pretty cute.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it actually was quite neat. It's a bit of a you have to waggle the stick and bash the buttons to play it. It's like a track and field style game, but it was cute. It was cute.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's that. Right, I guess we shall move on to not long, just a few days ago, I think it was, the Game Awards happened. So yeah, this is kind of like an annual thing nowadays. It's been going for a few years now, I think.
Hosted by Keira Knightley.
Yeah, hosted by Keira Knightley. Yeah, totally his name. That's not someone else's name at all. But yeah, it was on from, what was it, about 11 at night hit for us, I think it was, or midnight, and it went on till about 3 in the morning. And I was literally at the end of this freelance animation project I was working on, and I was just having trouble trying to get the thing to render, and I just spent the whole night watching this stream while basically wanting to throw my laptop out the window because it wouldn't render properly and it kept messing up. But yeah, I ended up watching the whole thing and I kind of regret it. I feel this happens every year. It's something cool will come out of this. I'll watch the whole thing, and then by the end of it, it's I don't like video games anymore, Dad. Daddy, I don't like video games. They're lame. and then the next
title.
And then the next day I'll play Space Invaders Extreme and go, oh wait, I do like video games, just not the ones they always peddle on these things. I guess the first thing we should go into is the actual awards, like the games that won awards. This was the Last of Us Part 2 year, I guess. That's all we can really say. Practically every nomination they got, they won. Wow, this website is incredibly slow. I'm just going through the website now, just trying to run it. And it's just it barely runs. It's actually making my laptop go a bit loud. Yeah,
I can hear it.
Slightly whirling around there.
Yeah.
I thought there was a
maybe I should just find a website that has the awards without having to use their website. Because, yikes. I'm just trying to look at the actual results and it's just really bad. Alright, okay. Tech Radar, that would be better. But yeah, it's not like I need to look at it anyway. Most of it was, you know, Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us Part 2, and the reward for the game called Last of Us Part 2 is Last of Us Part 2. And it was just that. It's as predictable as always, you know.
Earlier this year, like when that game came out, I felt like the only person in the world who couldn't give a toss about it.
You're not the only one. If anything, barely anyone I know actually cares about this game. If anything, most people would be shouting for Animal Crossing to win Game of the Year because it was a nomination. And as far as I'm concerned, in terms of games that had the most impact and probably helped people out the most this year, I would say it's probably Animal Crossing. Let's be honest. It released just as the lockdown happened. It was timed so perfectly by pure coincidence, and it just really helped people through the anxiety of the lockdown, and it really helped out, you know, keep people together and communicate, do all the online stuff and be able to, you know, stay in touch with their friends and everything. And as far as I'm concerned, that is probably, even though I don't play it, I would say that's the game of the year, just because of how important it was for so many people. Yeah. But, you know, this is the Game Awards. They always go for whatever the lowest common denominator, whatever's been paid, whatever AAA game is paid for. I hate to say it, but next year I reckon it's going to end up being Cyberpunk. It's just going to be Cyberpunk winning everything. But I could be wrong. There might be something else, but that would be my guess for next year. Yeah. It'll be like, that'll be the one that gets, throws the money at them the most out of it. But, I don't think anyone really watches these for the rewards anyway, to be honest. I certainly don't. It's pretty obvious what wins almost every time. I thought it was quite funny that Among Us won both Best Mobile Game and I think it won another one as well, considering that game... Best Multiplayer, and I think it got Best Multiplayer and Best Mobile Game, despite the fact that game's actually several years old. It's just people only just noticed it this year. Yeah. So for some reason, I guess a certain streamer came along and just made it really popular, but it has actually been around for at least 2 years. And they were actually working on, as we mentioned in a previous podcast, they were working on a sequel this year until the first game blew up, and they were like, let's just work on the first game. In the end, it's just like that's how that ended up. Hades got Best Action Game. That's something. At least that got something. Final Fantasy VII Remake got Best RPG and Best Score. Mortal Kombat 11 got Best Fighting Game.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that game did come out this year.
Yeah, I know.
Because that was before the Troubles, wasn't it?
Just before. Yeah, I think it was like in January, February, something like that. Yeah. It's a shame both Splunky 2 and Streets of Rage 4, which both got nominations, didn't win. But oh well.
What did Splunky get?
That was in Best Indie Game that it got beaten by Hades, and that's the latest Supergiant Games game, so that doesn't really surprise me.
Should have been Spelunk, sorry.
Should have been Splunky 2. I think the people that voted on it probably played it and kept losing, so like, no.
You never got to sort that out of the caves.
Yeah, it was just like, I can't even beat the first world. Stop this. But yeah, as I say, people don't generally watch these things for... the rewards. They watch them for the announcements, and I guess the big announcement straight out of the gate, which I'm glad they got out of the gate straight away, was the Smash Brothers reveal. Sephiroth.
I was quite surprised by that because do you remember how Square treated Cloud? They were like, right, you can have a couple of songs, Cloud. Just, so I was that's why I was so surprised they actually had more. To be honest,
yeah, exactly. That was I could not see that character coming from miles away, because they almost didn't get Cloud into Ultimate. They actually had to renegotiate with Square Enix and convince them that it was worth putting Cloud in again. They almost made that just a Wii U 3DS one-off thing. But yeah, they did manage to eventually get them to agree to that. But yeah, no, did not expect to see Sephiroth another another Final Fantasy character, the other Final Fantasy 7 character. People were like, oh, people keep complaining about Fire Emblem characters because they're anime guys with swords. This is another anime guy with a sword, but you're giving him a free pass. It's like, he's the anime sword guy. He's the guy that invented anime sword guys. Well, he's not, but he's the one everyone remembers. He was like the first one that really kicked off in America. He was the first edgy, like, try hard friggin' villain with a sword and floppy hair that everyone fell in love with in the West,
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, and his sword is ridiculously long as well.
Yeah.
So he's got that. That trailer was absolutely amazing as well.
I couldn't believe what he did to Mario. And then luckily it was all right. But when it first turned up, I was like, "What are they done?
Oh, they killed Mario." These trailers have had that a lot, haven't they? Have you noticed almost every single one of these reveals trailers has either Luigi dying in one of them, the Castlevania one, or Mario getting blown up, or Mario just getting screwed over in some fashion. It's just like, oh, how do we make this character we're putting in as DLC look really cool? Let's have them kill Mario. Or just do something very horrible to him. Or have Sonic punch Mario so hard he ends up in Minecraft. But yeah,
that's a threat, isn't it?
I'm gonna
punch you so hard you'll be in Minecraft, mate.
It's hit to be square after all.
Nothing but blocks, mate. That's all you'll be seeing.
Confused countdown. You can't on the phone, you know.
Do you?
So
and the other sorry, I was just going to say the other thing that I because I didn't see any of the Game Awards stuff until like the next day, and the one that made me like very giddy was the Ghost and Goblins reveal.
Oh yes.
The remake of that.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does it look a bit odd? Like it looks.
The art style is very strange.
I don't want to call it cheap, but there's something very puppet, like about it. It's very tweeny. It looks. I don't know. I almost feel like that game they did, the Gods and Ghosts game they did on the PSP, maybe looked a little bit nicer than this. But
that was amazing. That game.
It's a really nice looking game.
Was that Ultimate?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Ultimate. Yeah.
I
think this one's called Ghouls and Ghosts Resurrection, I think it's called.
Well, it's actually Ghost and Goblins, so it's
Ghost
like
and Goblins.
The first one. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a remake of the original one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm all for it. I love that series. I want more of it.
They also revealed a Capcom arcade collection for the Switch, which is...
Oh, nice.
That looks really good. It's called Capcom... Oh, what was it called now? Capcom Arcade... something or other. But basically it's going to be a collection that the first game is free, so you can get one of the 1940 something games for free, and then all the other games are DLC, and you basically can just pick and choose the games you want and then just plonk that arcade cabinet into... You basically get this big 3D room with arcade cabinets, and when you buy a game it plonks that arcade game into your collection, and then you can pick that game.
Can you edit it? Can you edit the arcade? Because I love all that.
I hope so. I don't actually know, but the collection of games that are coming to that are really quite nice. It's a nice mix of it's called Capcom Arcade Stadium. That's the one. So let me just find a list of the games, because it's got some really... There's 32 games in total that are going to be coming out, and it includes stuff like Cyberbots. It's got some of the obvious ones. It's got Ghouls and Ghosts. It's got Final Fight again. It's got Strider. It's also got stuff like you've got the arcade version of Bionic Commando.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got Mega Twins, or as I know it, Cheeky Boys. You got that game's fantastic. Plus, it's the arcade version, so it'll actually have 2-player, unlike the Mega Drive version. They've put Giga Wing and Pro Gear, as in Cave's Pro Gear, on here. So basically, that giant arcade stick, that giant Capcom logo arcade stick, is almost completely redundant now, because they put several of the games from that, except for Alien vs Predator, on the Switch now. You've got quite a few sort of more obscure ones on here as well. So yeah, you got stuff like 1944, the Loop Master. You got Battle Circuit, which was already on the Switch in a different collection, but whatever. Yeah, you got some pretty unusual ones in there. I don't know how much they're going to be individually, or whether they have various prices based on how new or old they are. But yeah, I like that they're doing this, and they're basically using the exact same setup they did for a collection on the PS3 and 360 called Capcom Arcade Cabinet, but that was focused on CPS1 games, so like the earlier stuff. Whereas this is
I remember that collection.
Yeah, I've got the whole thing. I think I got it on sale on the PS3. Yeah, it's a really nice collection. It was all done by M2. It's got stuff like Gunsmoke on it on that, which unfortunately isn't in this new collection. I love Gunsmoke. But yeah, it's got stuff like Cyberbots. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in this collection. So I'm really looking forward to that. To be honest, that was one of the few announcements of the night I was really interested in, if I'm honest. I don't know if there's anything else that anyone else wants to talk about that stood out for them.
I'm just trying to remember.
Other than Yakuza Remaster Collection and Song of Life is coming to Xbox Game Pass.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah,
I was worried if they were going to do that.
Basically, every Yakuza game will now be available on Steam and Xbox now.
Yeah.
It's about time.
So no one on Xbox or PlayStation or PC has to miss out on any of the Yakuza games now, because they'll be getting all of them.
It's about time.
Just a Switch now.
I think that series needs exposure. I really do.
Oh, I think it really is getting exposure currently. I think Sega are really pushing the boat out when it comes to, not only have they made it more multi-format than it used to be, even just 2 years ago it was like a PlayStation exclusive franchise.
Yeah.
But now it's available on most systems. Switch not withholding. I don't think that will happen anytime soon unless they make a more powerful Switch. But at the very least, if they could just chuck Zero on there, I'd be happy. But
I would be on that. Like, nobody's business.
The thing is,
go.
Yakuza 5 was on the Wii U over in Japan.
Oh, I thought it was 1 and 2 HD. Are you thinking of 1 and 2 HD? Because I think that's the only
remember
one that.
Possibly, actually.
I don't think 5 was. I think it was.
I'll have to look it up.
It was ports.
I thought 1 and 2.
The original 1 and 2.
Yeah, I thought they were on the Wii. They got like a sort
of.
No,
it was Wii U.
Oh, it was Wii U.
Yeah, because they were specifically the HD re-releases of the original games. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, I think the director of the Yakuza series has come out and, like, in an interview and said that the Switch wasn't really their target demographic, so that's why they haven't shown up there yet. But hopefully they'll have a change of heart one day.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
He does make some questionable decisions, doesn't he?
Sometimes, yeah.
That whole thing about, like, oh no, we can't have Kiryu in a fighting game because he might hit girls. So what?
Slapped Taraka.
He literally slapped Taraka. Yes, that's kind of an infamous scene.
Yeah, exactly. But never mind. He can be a bit of a helmet.
Very tan, shiny helmet. Some of the other announcements they had, one of them was really strange. It was just this really long-winded trailer, and the whole time I was like, is that Vin Diesel? Is that a really weird, uncanny valley version of Vin Diesel? And for ages I was like, it's got to be him, hasn't it? If it's not him, they really tried hard to make it look like him. And then it went, this is Arc 2, and then the trailer ended, and I was like, oh, so it's not Vin Diesel. And then Keira Knightley showed up, and it was like, there you go, the announcement of Arc 2 starring Vin Diesel. It was like, why didn't it say it in the trailer? That's really confusing. It's like they forgot. It's like, oh, by the way, Vin Diesel's in it. That would be like a bit of a big deal in the trailer, but I don't know. Speaking of random cameos in other games, they also had the Swedish Chef show up at the Game Awards because they've added the Swedish Chef to Overcooked as a free downloadable character.
Oh, did you hear about that, Kat?
What's that?
The Swedish Chef, the Muppet character. He's going to be in Overcooked.
I did, because I was on the stream when someone told you about it.
Yes, yeah.
I just think that's perfect. I hope it does it where if you press that little swear button, he actually does the hoopy goopy goo.
I hope so. It's not Swedish Chef if he doesn't speak. If he doesn't give you the fludies and the hoodies.
He's the mute chef.
Another big surprise was they announced a new Perfect Dark.
Yeah. Of all things,
Is it a reboot?
I think it's a reboot. It didn't really resemble Perfect Dark. I couldn't really tell what the game was supposed to be the whole time it was going. This big CGI trailer. It didn't really give off vibes of. I couldn't really tell until the logo showed up. I was like, oh, okay, it's Perfect Dark apparently. All right, fair enough.
I remember the 360 one of them being a bit crap.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. But
yeah,
well, some people love it, but I don't know. I don't really have any investment in it either way. But yeah,
I watched a friend play through it, and I just found it really dull. I was looking forward to it as well. Oh well.
There was that game. I know you were quite excited about this one, Hunk Thunder. Back for Blood.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it is Left 4 Dead 3.
In all but
obviously,
name.
it's not being done by Valve, so they had to change the name and all.
Well, yeah, because Valve don't make video games anymore. You should know that. They make one VR game every 10 years, and that's about all you get.
Yep, they're scared of number 3, so they had to get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Scared of 3.
They don't mind having the number 4 in the title, just not 3.
Yeah.
You can't call it Left 3 Dead.
Oh dear. But yeah, by the look of the trailer, it looks like it's going to be just like Left 4 Dead, obviously, but they got a bit over the top of the enemies, like having 20-foot tall zombies just come after you. So it's going to be like more team-based, well, just as team-based, sorry, as ever. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
So cool. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else that
I've literally got a list up because I can't remember what half of it was.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple games in there, but most of it just kind of went over my head and just sort of blended together. Because one, I was just really annoyed with this rendering issues I was having, so I wasn't really paying full attention. But most of the games just kind of blended together to me. It was like there was like 10 different zombie games, 10 different fantasy games. It was just kind of like blurred together after a while. A couple games stood out. I'm trying to remember what they were called though. One of them was called Route 99, and it was sort of like a adventure. I don't know if it was like a point and click, but it was like a game where you talk to characters and stuff, and you're basically trying to cross the border in America, and it's procedurally generated, so like the story's random every time you play it, and you're basically just traveling across like what I assume is Route 66, but it's called Route 99 in this case. That looked really interesting. That was one of the few standouts for me. I'm trying to remember what that other one was called. There was this other game, I can't remember the name of it, but it had some kind of like realistic rabbit with a giant metal hand that was beating up things in like a 2.5D combat platformer. That looked quite interesting. I wish I could remember what it was called. I'll have to go back through the whole Game Awards video and skim through it and see if I can find it, because I couldn't. I don't think googling rabbit with giant robot hand will bring up much.
other than like Bunny Rabbit.
Oh, it might bring up Barney Rabbit from SatAM, yeah, but otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, there was a couple of little games like that, but other than that, it was like 3.5 hours, and by the end of it, I was like, I just want to go to bed. There was an Evil Dead game as well, just called Evil Dead the Game, because there hasn't ever been any Evil Dead games ever before, honest. We'll pretend that one on a Dreamcast never happened.
Or that The Ring.
Yeah, if they make a new The Ring game, they'll just have to be like, yep, this is the first Ring game. There totally wasn't a Dreamcast one. Just pretend that never happened. Yeah, that's the Game Awards. Probably not the best person to really talk about it, because like it's not really so much of it. It's just like for me, it's just more of the same. Yeah, it really meh for the most part. But there was a couple nice little surprises in there, I suppose. Like I'm glad they got the Smash Bros reveal out right at the start, because I could have technically, if I wasn't working, I could have just gone to bed right there and then and been content. I would have been fine without watching the whole thing. But yeah.
Have they said how many more characters there are left to reveal?
I
for Smash?
think there's 3. Because the last season pass, I think, is 6 characters, and they've revealed 3 so far. It was Min Min, Minecraft Steve, and Sephiroth. Sephiroth!
Sephiroth is in the chocolate.
That's how the song goes, right?
That goes, Sephiroth is in the Audi chocolate.
Yes. That's a joke no one will get. Unless you shop at Aldi.
Cool, I got it.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a Fortnite character. I think that was the biggest rumblings of that. Oh, that reminds me, there were loads of rumblings about like Fortnite being in Smash Brothers, and then they would also reveal Samus for Fortnite. And whoever made that, whoever found the rumblings about that, got their wires crossed, because it wasn't Samus that ended up getting revealed for Fortnite. It was Master Chief. So someone got their Space Marine Bounty Hunter thingy characters confused, I think.
Yeah.
I hope
that never happens.
Yeah. So now Master Chief and Kratos can floss in a game together. They also had like a red versus blue thing related to it as well. I don't know, because that's still relevant apparently.
Oh wow, yeah, I was about to say 2000.
They even kind of joked about it in the trailer. It's like, does anyone even know who we are? We've been around for like 10 years at least, or something like that. It's like, yep, most kids ain't gonna know who you are. Yeah. Anyway, right, let's move on. Yeah, it was only Yakuza 1 and 2 on the Wii U, yeah, and it was like the original PS2 games in HD, if I remember rightly. But yeah, that was the only time they ever attempted Yakuza on a Nintendo console, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh dear, I'm going to need some more water or something, because I've got stuff to talk about here. This last one, this came up literally just yesterday, and I could not believe it when it happened. This is probably going to be this could be one of the biggest plot twists in gaming this year for me specifically. Not for a lot of people. Most people ain't going to care whatsoever. But for me, this is wild. So back in 2017, there was a Mega Drive beat 'em up in the style of Streets of Rage being developed by the people that gave us Pier Solar. And it's called, how do you pronounce this? Is it Paprium? Paprium, yes. So they revealed this game called Paprium. It's got this ridiculous trailer, this really like expensive looking trailer of this muscly man grabbing a Mega Drive controller out of all this like rubble and screaming and all this crazy music going on. And yeah, they put up pre-orders for it. Obviously, I'd already played PS Solo on the Dreamcast, like the HD. Oh wait, was that before that even came out? I can't remember.
I played the PS3 one.
You had it on PS3, didn't you? And I did eventually get the what they called the HD version, but I had it on the Dreamcast for a little while.
You just reminded me, I need to finish PS Solar. I grabbed it on the Wii U.
Yeah, so as I say, PS Solar successfully released a Mega Drive game. It came out on the Mega Drive. It did some things that the Mega Drive's never done before. It had a 60 meg cartridge, which was the biggest cartridge that's ever been published for the Mega Drive. It also had this feature where you could plug in a Mega CD, put in the CD that's provided with the game, and then you could play the game with CD music, which was really clever. So it did a lot of things that no one's ever seen done with the Mega Drive before, and it was successfully made. So yeah, they announced their next game. It's a Streets of Rage style beat 'em up. They put out the pre-orders. It was $69. I thought, I'm not so crazy on RPGs, so I didn't bother buying the Mega Drive version of that. But I love myself some Streets of Rage, so they've made a successful Mega Drive game. I can trust them. I bought it. I pre-ordered. And then they just kind of disappeared. It went deadly silent for 3 years. It literally just vanished off the face of the earth. Even the website just disappeared for years. Everyone just claimed it was vaporware for the longest time, and I do not blame them. In fact, I was with them. I was like, this game doesn't exist, does it? This just isn't a thing. This doesn't exist. Like, or maybe they started making it, found it was too difficult, and then they just gave up. But yesterday, people on Twitter started springing up saying the website's back up, and they got emails saying the game's shipping.
Out of nowhere.
Just out of absolutely nowhere. Literally, the last time they'd mentioned this game was sometime last year. They literally tweeted out that they were having some kind of party for the game. I think it was last October in Paris. And again, they put out one image. They never showed any of this party. They didn't show it off. They didn't really. It was just like some exclusive little party, mainly for people that worked on the game or were involved in some way. And that happened. No one heard of it. No one talked about it. That just happened last year. That was the last time we heard about it. They had also been rolling out refunds for people. So people in the last year or so. So they were actually letting people get their money back that were just, this game doesn't exist. I want my money back. Or, there was just zero communication on whether it existed or not. So it was just gone. Like, most people got their money back, basically. So yeah, I started seeing on Twitter, a friend of mine was like, oh, I can't believe this game's actually shipping. And I was like, what? I had to double check what the game was, because I was like, I vaguely remembered the name, but I was like, is that what I think it is? And sure enough, there's a tweet by one of the developers actually showing the cartridge. Not a video, just a blurry photo of him having the cartridge in his Mega Drive and running the game and being like, happy holidays. Yeah. And sure enough, I looked at I searched on Twitter and loads of people were saying they've got shipped emails. So I was like, I've still got my account. Did I get a refund or not? I couldn't actually remember. So I went on the website, I logged in, I still had my login details written down somewhere. I managed to find them, logged in, and I looked in my account and it said, oh, you have an order that is pending an address. So I put in the address and it said order processed, and it said we are packing this and we'll ship this to you soon. I was like, all right.
Happy days.
Happy days, I guess. This might be happening. So yeah, I really want to go through their FAQ for this, because this is one of the strangest. You know how weird, how Wild Westy Kickstarters are?
Yeah.
When it comes to Kickstarter, you pay someone money and you might get the product in like 3-4 years time. Might. This wasn't a Kickstarter. This was on their website. You can order it. They had this big arcade stick you could order as well, and there was all this stuff. $69. I went on, I logged in. It said, $0. You've already, you don't owe us any money. Your pre-order's still valid. All this kind of stuff. So I put my address in, because the first thing that went through my head is I haven't got a shipping email yet, and they might ship it to my old address, because I obviously lived in a different place entirely when I pre-ordered it. So I was worried they were going to send it to my old address, because we don't have any contact with the people that live there now. So that would have been a bit of a pain. I'd have to go down there to get it. But no, they didn't send me an email, so I logged in, and sure enough, they didn't have any details on me, so I had to put those details in. And yeah, apparent they haven't sent me a shipping email yet, but they just sent me one saying it's processed.
But processed.
Processed, rather.
Not possessed.
Possessed. It feels a bit possessed, let's be honest. This for the longest time, this was a phantom game. This really I'm going to say it right away. They have been abysmal about communicating about this game. Like, they've been absolutely abysmal.
Just a tad.
Just a bit. Almost 3 years of complete silence on, no devlogs, no hints or teaser trailers or anything. You just vanished for so long with just the odd image of it's still happening, but just nothing to prove that. So yeah, just to give you an idea of how ridiculous this game is. So when you go on their website, it mentions that because they've got a whole massive FAQ up. So the game is 80 meg, so it's even bigger than Piazola was. So this is like the biggest Mega Drive game ever released. They're saying it's the equivalent of like a 256 or even 512 meg Neo Geo game running on your Mega Drive. So one, it's huge. Two, it has a custom chip in it, which is it's the second Mega Drive game to ever have a custom chip in it. The first of which was Virtua Racing. The first and last. So this one is apparently, it's got an audio chip that adds extra audio channels for both the music and sound effects. We used the backdoor left by Sega, and this is not a lame MP3 or WAV player. This is a live digital audio in the same fashion as the highest end arcade machines of the 90s or something. And then it also has some kind of graphics chip in it, what makes it so they can have up to 80 sprites on screen without flicker.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All of this just sounds it either sounds too good to be true or just too weird to be true. Like, they've done some crazy stuff with Piazola in the past. It says on here, the game box, there's a lot of broken English on this. The game box have the Mega CD logo. What for? For Paprium, the Mega CD can be used as a mate for 2 players co-op. The feature can be unlocked in the options and uses the mode button of one player's joypad to invoke the mate. What does that mean? So wait, if you have a Mega CD, there's some kind of 2-player thing, but I don't really understand what it means. There's just so much in this FAQ, and also the email they just sent out to everyone as well. That's just like, what is happening? What is even going on? I'm sorry, I'm just going to be rambling because this has been baffling me for the last 24 hours. It really has. There is something loose inside my cartridge. It says lose. There is something loose inside my cartridge. What it is?
What it is?
What it is? A serial number plate may become loose inside some cartridges when shocked or stored in very low temperatures. This is unfortunate, but shall not cause any malfunctions. Cartridges sold prior 2021 may be serviceable upon request when a fix is found. So it might have something rattling in it as well. Like,
okay,
it won't malfunction, so it's all right.
Apparently, there's also some models of the Mega Drive 1 that it might not be compatible with, and they have listed those ones. Thankfully, I don't think mine's one of them, but they said the list is also not complete, so who knows? It might not even work when I get it. I might have to dig out my Mega Drive 2 or my Multi-Mega or my Nomad to play this. I don't know. Yeah. The other thing about this game, right, is I pre-ordered it. It was $69. They have it for pre-order up, for sale again. It's $129 now. Basically, what happened is they charged what they think it was going to cost them to make it. They were like, oh, this is floor level price, $69. This is how much it's going to cost us to make these cartridges. Sometime within the last 3 years, I think they've realised this game is going to cost them far more than that to make, because it's got custom chips in it. It's got all this. It's got a rattling thing inside it. It's got all this doohickeys and weird stuff in it. So they've had to basically double the price because they basically sold them at a cost. So they basically did what consoles do, like modern consoles do, where they sell them for less than they actually cost to manufacture, and then they hopefully eventually years later profit. But this is a one-off Mega Drive game. This is not gonna profit. So basically they're now saying that the game has increased in price because they sold the old ones at a loss, and as they run out of stock, the price will increase more.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah, all right. We're getting into the email now, because the email it kind of annoys me. Like, some of the stuff they say in this email just annoys me. It makes me think this game could be amazing, but these guys are kind of dicks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's stuff in here that's like, like
arrogance and
ambition. Just pure arrogance. They're gloating about the aftermarket sales of Piazola here. Basically, they're saying, the price has increased, but our products often reach 200 to 1,000% of our original sale price, as opposed to past, we'll also update our price as our limited editions get closer to sold out. So yeah, they're basically saying that, well, the price has gone up, but if you don't buy it from us, it's going to be like £600 if you buy it from someone else. That's what they're saying. They're basically saying that scalpers are going to destroy this. And they're also saying in this email, they basically have no intentions to port this to any modern consoles or anything. This is only going to be available through the Mega Drive for the time being, unlike PS Solar, which did actually come out on all modern systems. I really don't know what to think of this whole thing. It's like, one, I really can't wait to see how this game ends up, because I don't know if you've seen the trailer, but the few little bits of gameplay they did show, it's Streets of Rage as hell,
I remember it.
Before Streets of Rage 4 happens, when they first showed it, it was like, wow, that looks like Streets of Rage 4. It looked like a new Streets of Rage in most ways. In fact, I think there are some posts claiming that some of the characters may have been slightly eyeballed or traced from other sprites from other games, but I don't know if that's true or not. But so now they're saying the estimated delivery is the first trimester of next year. Don't panic, the wait is worth it. There's a lot. This email goes on for ages. What was it? Oh yeah, there's a bit here as well. Anyone pissed about lack of support? Well, we cut out all our cost and staff so the game can ever release, and the game is there. That's all matters.
Wow.
Yeah, that's oh dear.
Moreover, we announce, no, what's that about? At the end of the email, that's what it says. Apparently there's something else involved with this game that they haven't revealed yet. Are all the materials brand new, or do you just rebox and flash carts? All our materials are manufactured brand new and made exclusive by our team. Nothing but best quality material. That's fair enough. There was something else somewhere where they mentioned like they've got other things to reveal about the game, but I really don't know. Why has the game increased in price? Due to aforementioned issues, we shipped an unbelievable amount of games for free, and therefore we had to increase price for future sales. What? How did... I can understand that they charged too little for the original. That makes perfect sense. $69 for a Mega Drive game that is built from scratch with custom chips in it. I can imagine that costs more than $69 to manufacture, because EverDrive cartridges cost more than that. So... I get that price increase, but they're saying they gave away loads of free copies?
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, no. There's so much, like, in this whole thing. It's just like, what's happening? I'm so confused. The more I read it, the more I'm like, help.
How do you make such a grave mistake like that?
I really don't know. I mean, the development of the original... the Mega Drive version of PS Solar also ran into similar issues where it was just like some people didn't get theirs in time, or it had manufacturing issues or something like that. And it was only when they did the HD version on Kickstarter years later that the game sort of actually got played by more than 5 people.
Yeah.
Because it came out on, I think it came out on like the Wii U and the PS3 and all that stuff. But with this one, they're like, this is not an Android or console game. This is Mega Drive only. And it's like, oh. That's not really fair for people that can't afford to buy this Mega Drive cartridge, let's be honest. And you're never going to profit. Let's be honest, they're not going to profit off this game. There's just no way. If they're already losing money just from somehow giving away free copies, is it something to do with the refund system? Is that why mine says $0? Are they giving me did I get a refund, but they're giving me a copy anyway? What's happening? I can't find any emails that prove I got a refund or not, so I just assume I didn't. But I'm so confused.
You did check your bank, didn't you?
I don't know if I can go that far back. I'll have to look. If I did get a refund, I would have thought I'd have an email, but yeah, that happens. I guess we'll find out sometime early in the year whether people start actually receiving this game. And
that's all we can do.
Whether it's actually good, and whether it's actually good, and it's all it was cracked up to be. And yeah, for what little we saw of it as well, we literally got like a few seconds of footage in that massive high budget trailer. This half naked guy just screaming into a microphone with like gold paint all over him and stuff. Yeah, I really don't know.
We'll just have to wait and see, I guess, see if it actually turns up for a start.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I haven't had a shipping email yet, but they are apparently on the website it says it's packing. Apparently they're packing it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will see.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, there's a small chance I'll plug this into my Mega Drive 1 and it won't even work, but hopefully it's not one of the... I looked at the serial number and it doesn't match up to the ones they reckon it doesn't work with. But yeah. Yeah. Strange.
Yeah, that's a very a predicament.
Yeah, even if the game turns out to be like incredible, if it arrives and it's like, holy shit, this is they've been sitting on this amazing
worth
game.
The wait.
Yeah, and it's been worth the wait. I'm still gonna say they've been absolutely abysmal about letting anyone know what's happening with this or whether it even still exists. You know, the only thing they did was put out an email saying, "Do you want a refund? Well, you can get a refund. Shut up." That's very begrudgingly as well. They were very like snappy about it. They're like, "Oh, do you want refunds? Go on then." It's just like, well, you know, you don't let anyone know that it's even still happening. Then what do you expect?
Yeah,
they should have seen what's happened on Kickstarter so many times when a game has just not come to fruition. And even with some of those, like the developers do admit the mistakes that happened and how the money got wasted in some way, or like they went to the developer that screwed them over or something like that. There's usually some kind of transparency about what's going on with your project. But in the case of this game, it was just nothing. Absolutely nothing for years, like since early 2017, I think it was. So yeah, the Switch has been out for like almost 4 years. In that time, it was around the same time the Switch released when they put out pre-orders, if I remember rightly. Yeah. Yeah. Right, that's the news I got.
But if if this game does, like, when people do start getting it, and it's true that it's actually going to exist, then that's going to be the plot twist of this year, isn't it?
For me, it is. For most people, it's going to be like, oh, whatever. It's just some Mega Drive game, innit? But for me, it's just like this exists, or might exist, They might still be, because for the longest period, if you look up this game, most of it is articles saying how it was like one of the biggest scams ever, you know, and like up there with like some of those really bad Kickstarters where they got millions of dollars,
like
and then
Homestuck one,
and then just nothing comes out of it, you know. So usually, even with the Kickstarters, they're usually quite transparent if there is issues why it didn't happen, you know, but. Yeah. With this, I just feel like they were just like, oh, we always deliver, even if we don't tell you how or when we're going to deliver, but we will deliver as soon as you get an email that says shipped. Yeah. All right, that was. I just wanted to get that off my chest because when I saw it yesterday, I was literally just like, what? my brain was fried. I was like, how? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we will see. I do hope they, if I did indeed give them not get a refunds, then yeah, I would like to see that finally show up on my door just out of nowhere, and play it. I'll most definitely stream it when it does happen, because it doesn't sound like a lot of people are going to get to play it unless they're willing to pay double the price for it now, or they didn't get a refund all those years ago. Yeah. I think it was last year when they were doing the refunds, but yeah.
Well.
I'm done. I knew I was going to end up talking about that for ages, but
no, that's fine. I think it's bloody fascinating. Like it's when you showed like the images of it, I was like, oh god, I remember that trailer.
I forget, really.
Yeah, I did as well. I was just like, well, what's happened to that game?
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yep, just out of nowhere with
supposedly.
They didn't even technically announce it on their website or anything. It was literally just through emails and these random tweets that I even found out about. It was like I didn't get an email. I didn't get they didn't update the website. It was just like people on Twitter going, "Oh, I got a shipped email." I was like, "What?" Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Keep us updated on that, especially if
definitely.
it actually turns up.
If I get a shipped email and it shows up sometime next year, I will definitely let you guys know.
You need to stream that.
Well, for sure. I mean, who's to say that it's going to show up and it just ends up being complete garbage, or I really don't know what to expect. This is either going to be, I don't know. It's
either a hidden gem or a complete load of crap.
It's really hard to say at this point. Like the problem is they've shown so little. It's impossible to judge. Like it could look amazing, but it might also only be a level long. You just don't know. There's no way of knowing. Right. So with that was all the gaming news I could think of. Unless anyone's seen anything else knocking around, but I don't know if there's really much else at the moment.
Pretty much covered everything. Everything major for the last few weeks. So,
yeah, I guess so. I guess what I should go into now is what we'll be doing next week. So, on the 21st of December, we will be doing another Lucky Hit podcast, and it will be in the same place as always here on YouTube. But we will also be taking part in Radio Sega's Winterfest.
Yeah.
So we are actually going to be hosted by Radio Sega on their online radio station while we're doing next week's podcast as well.
So we get a special.
Yeah. So it'll be plus that's probably going to be our nearest podcast to Christmas as well. So I guess that will be our Christmas special if we can come up with anything for that. And, look forward to that. So we'll be here as always, but they're going to be piping the audio from our live feed onto their system as well. So we'll have quite a considerably bigger audience next week, I think.
It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's going to be quite. I was really surprised when Green Viper invited us to that. I was like, oh wow, okay. I know the Dreamcast Junkyard has a podcast during the event as well on one of the days as well. So if you go on, I think it's radiosega. Let me just quickly check the web address so I don't get it wrong. Yeah, so if you check out radiosega.net for the details, as I say, we'll be on probably around the same time we usually are, about 8 PM next Monday. But yeah, you'll also be able to check us out on Radio Sega.
Just as you say that, I'm looking at Facebook and Tom Jarnock's face just popped up. Don't know why. Dreamcast Junkyard's just posted his face, but there we go.
Fair enough.
So yeah, two podcasts that I've been involved in will be going on during the same event. It's pretty cool. I would like to jump in on another Dreamcast one day, but the thing I found with the Dreamcast Junkyard is I don't know most of the people there now because there's loads of new people. So I think it's fine. I can talk to new people, but at the same time, like I got on the last podcast and I think I knew 2 people out of 5. But yeah, it's really that website's actually celebrating its 15th anniversary at the moment. Dreamcast Junkyard alone has been around for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
This website that was supposed to be about a dog-old console that no one wanted, and here's this guy's collection of games he's picking up for a couple quid in Game Station, and then I joined him about a year into it. That's why it was called Dreamcast Junkyard, because it was literally just stuff he was just grabbing from boot sales and stuff and just posting pictures of it and being like, oh, look, I got this game, I'm going to do a quick review of it. And yeah, he's been doing that for 15 years. Too old yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. 21st, so that's
next Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, next Monday.
21st is next Monday,
Yeah. Next Monday. Blimey, oh crikey.
Yep.
And I'm going to have my birthday before then.
Yeah.
33, blimey.
Catch up with my age.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Well,
about
I don't think I'll be able to overtake you.
Yeah, you've never overtaken us. Unless we were born on like a what's it year?
A leap year.
Yeah, which we weren't. So.
So deal with it.
So
we will always be slightly older than you. There's nothing you could do about it. You'll have to live with that.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm the oldest here, so I win.
Yeah,
you win at age. I'm leaving this mortal coil first.
This
citation needed. Offence not withheld.
Yeah. This is getting very, very dark right now.
Yeah, I think we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
I've been AnimatedAF. That's right. I'm going with that now. I'm officially from this point forward scrapping the Gaggaman. You can still call me that if you want, but it's. I even changed my Switch name to the AnimatedAF now. So.
Gaggagon.
It's the end of an era.
Yeah.
End of a gag era. Yeah, I've been AnimatedAF.
Gagonira. Yeah.
What?
Sayonara.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm not making any sense. But I've been CherryT.
I've been Murry Curry.
And I was Johnny Noobhead. I still sort of am, but mostly nowadays I'm Hunk Thunder.
You've always been my Hunk Thunder.
How many more people are going to make that joke? I've kind of written back in that decision.
All of us.
We're going back to Johnny Noobhead now, just to get away from it.
Yeah.
Well, then it will just be knob jokes.
Exactly, I can't win.
And this has been the Lucky Hit Podcast. 95.
95.
I don't believe it.
I believe it.
I certainly don't have to believe it.
So remember to tune in next week or I'll smash you into Minecraft.
Yep. See you guys later.
You'll be seeing blocks for months.
You'll have a hissing in your ears just all the time.
You slag.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Alright. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the creepers bite.
Hey.
Which I'm going to knock you into. Cause
you slag.
Right, we're done. I'm hitting end stream.
Knock you spark out.